Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Irresistible and I'm a manifestation and soul realignment coach. My channel is geared towards helping you become your highest potential so that you can create and live the extraordinary life that is your birthright. In today's video, I'll be talking about how to trick your subconscious mind into believing your new story. But before we get started, just a quick reminder that I offer both email and video coaching. If you need any help in manifesting your desires, you can find all the information in the description below. And of course, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon in order to receive a notification anytime I upload a new video. So let's get started. In today's video, I'm going to be covering how it is that we are using our subconscious mind in order to manifest our physical reality, because as you know, your physical reality is always a projection of your subconscious mind, whatever assumptions you are holding true from within. When you understand the power of your subconscious mind, you will understand why it is that the techniques that are given in manifesting are so powerful. And sometimes I feel people question the techniques that are being used, but literally, if you understand how the subconscious mind works, you will understand why all of this is super powerful and why you can change your reality just by doing these techniques. The first thing you must realize when it comes to the subconscious mind is that it is much more powerful than your conscious mind. Literally, whatever is going on consciously, while it is important, and I will explain this later on, what is most important is what's going on subconsciously. So if you think that you can be, do, or have what you want at a conscious level, but subconsciously you have this assumption that I can't be, do, or have whatever I want because of assumption A and assumption B and assumption C, which are built up through your experiences, through your life, through what you've been taught since you were a child, you will realize that actually it's not enough for you to have a positive conscious thought. Your subconscious beliefs and assumptions will always overpower your conscious thoughts, and your reality will always reflect what's going on subconsciously. So here, as you can see in the slide, your physical reality will reflect the I can't, which is present and dominant in your subconscious mind. Now, the beauty of this is that the opposite is also true. Your subconscious beliefs will always overpower your conscious one. So when you have a disempowering conscious thought whereby you say, I can't do this, but you are doing the techniques that I will be sharing later in this video, the assumptions that can be impressed into your subconscious mind can be empowering ones that will override the disempowering thoughts at conscious level. That makes sense. So even if your conscious mind says I can't be, do, or have anything that I want, if you're following the techniques that I share, which are really about affirmations, which really are not even a technique, they're just focused thoughts. When you understand this, you can actually get your subconscious mind on board with your new story, with your new assumptions. And then that has to manifest, even if your conscious mind does not believe it. So it works both ways. Your physical reality will always reflect your subconscious assumptions. Now, of course, you're saying, and I gave you a clue on how this works, how can your subconscious mind believe something that your conscious mind does not believe? Here, I want to first say that the subconscious mind doesn't believe or not believe. I just wanted to clarify that I used the word believe, but it's not really an accurate way of describing it. What is predominantly impressed around a certain focus area is what will manifest. So how can that be? How can your conscious mind not be on board with something that is predominant in your subconscious mind. Well, this is where you have to understand that doing affirmations, even if you don't believe them, your subconscious mind will start to impress these. These will become dominant in your subconscious mind, even when your conscious mind does not believe it, even when your conscious mind is not on board with it. So this is where we say always persist through the doubt, because the doubt is often at the conscious level. What's happening subconsciously is it's becoming a more dominant assumption. And then once it is reflected in your physical reality, that's when your conscious mind will often come on board. Not necessarily before, although you might have a lot of faith, although you might be in the knowing that while I'm doing this work, I know that it will manifest at that level. Your conscious mind will oftentimes not be yet on board with the new story. It's more about faith or the willingness to believe that that will happen. That's why we emphasize you don't need to consciously believe your affirmations. You don't need to believe them consciously. You just don't. Like, even if you're repeating them like a robot, even if you're just going on and on and on and on repeating them and you're not believing them consciously, at some point in time, that has to manifest and then you will believe it. So to understand how it's possible for there to be a discrepancy between the conscious and subconscious mind, we find ourselves going into point 2, where the subconscious mind is concerned. Your subconscious mind operates very differently from your conscious mind. Essentially, your subconscious mind has no sensory perception. It has no 5 senses. It cannot perceive physical reality. It cannot perceive the 3D. It can't perceive the physical world. It doesn't know what's going on. It doesn't know what's real and what's not real. It also does not have any cognitive ability. So it can't use logic and reasoning. It can't rationalize. It can't judge, conclude, reject. It really does not have the abilities of the conscious mind. So when you say that I have a lot of money and you keep affirming that you have a lot of money, even if in your 3D you don't have any money, your subconscious mind cannot know. It has no ability to say, well, what you're saying doesn't make sense because there's no money in 3D. Oh, that's not true. It has no ability to say that's not true. It has no ability to reject whatever you give to it. It just takes in whatever you give to it. It's like you have to think of it as a database. It's whatever is stored within it and what's predominant within it. Whatever is predominant within it, within that database, is what will be reflected. So you want to think of the database as a database of assumptions. Some are empowering, some are disempowering. And when the more empowering ones are there in relation to your focus area, when they're more dominant, then that will be reflected in your physical reality. The subconscious mind literally just takes in what you feed it. It takes in what you feed it. I repeat, it takes in what you feed it. It does not interpret, it does not reject, it does not say this does not make sense, it does not say this contradicts, it does not do any of that. It just takes in what you feed it. How do you feed your subconscious mind? Well, of course, we're always talking about this. You feed your subconscious mind in 2 ways, in one of 2 ways. It doesn't have to be both. Either through repetition or through emotion. Repetition is repeating any sort of word, thought, action, behavior. It's anything repeated. This has to impress into your subconscious mind. And hence why you find yourself that the more you practice something, the better you get at it. Whether you're riding a bicycle or you're learning something new, you are impressing it into your subconscious mind. And repetition is key. That's what you're doing when you're repeating affirmations. When it comes to emotions, emotions are another way information is stored into your subconscious mind. It's your emotional reaction to situations, be it positive or negative. So anything you experience, your response to that experience or circumstance, including your interpretation of it, is then impressed into your subconscious mind and ultimately projected outwards if it happens enough times or if the emotion is strong enough. Now here it is super important to clarify that it is not necessary to activate positive emotions when you're doing your affirmations, because affirmations are oftentimes used in a repetitive manner. So you can activate emotions as you're saying your affirmations. They do help, but they are not a must. So sometimes I get from clients saying, I'm not feeling into my affirmations. Doesn't matter. So long as you're repeating, they must be impressed. It's just as effective. Pure repetition without emotion is just as effective. Remember when you were driving a car, did you have your emotions activated? Not really, right? It was only through practice. So repetition on its own is enough. The rule of thumb, when you include emotion with repetition, it means you have to do fewer affirmations. It takes you probably less time. But equally so, repetition with no emotion still works. It just means you have to repeat more of them. And that's perfectly okay. That is perfectly okay, because sometimes you just can't feel into the affirmation for whatever reason, and that is perfectly okay. When it comes to visualization, are positive emotions required? Again, they are useful, but they are not a must. So for an experience to be impressed into your subconscious mind, remember your subconscious mind does not know what is real or what is not real. So when you are practicing an imaginal act, when you're visualizing something, your subconscious mind does not know that that's not real. So if you want to activate your emotions while you're visualizing, and sometimes you find your emotions being activated, because depends on the type of person you are, and if you resonate with visualization, it can really activate your emotions. But if you find it difficult to activate your emotions while you are visualizing, you can activate the 5 senses. So imagine what you would be smelling, imagine what you would be seeing, imagine what you would be hearing. So you kind of activate all 5 senses as part of the act of imagining, and then you have to activate the emotions in the process. Now again, it is not a must. You can repeat your visualizations again and again and again and again, and then they also must be impressed. It's here again, we're dealing with repetition. Now, one thing I want to add here is the less active your conscious mind is, the more receptive your subconscious mind is. And that often happens when you are about to fall asleep. So they call it the state akin to sleep. So when you're about to fall asleep, your conscious mind kind of slows down, and that's where your subconscious mind receives any information super quickly. If you are not able to activate your emotions, you can impress a visual act or an imaginal act into your subconscious mind as you're falling asleep. Now, emotions definitely play a vital role when you are reacting negatively to circumstances. And I will explain this later in the video, but that is very important to know. So through your understanding now of how the subconscious mind works, whereby we said the subconscious mind is much more powerful than the conscious mind, and that the subconscious mind operates very differently, and it's really just like a storage of information, and what's predominant within it must then be reflected in physical reality. When you understand this, you can use this understanding to create your ideal reality. And here's how you do it. You must trick your subconscious mind into believing the brand new reality. You do this through the following steps. Step 1, we said impress the new story into your subconscious mind. You do this either through affirmations or through visualization. Affirmations can be either you read them out, you listen to them, you speak them out loud, you script them, whatever form resonates with you is repeating affirmations, repeating. Also, you can use visualization, which we said, either you want to activate the emotions, or you want to repeat, or you do them as you're falling asleep. And then that's when your subconscious mind is super receptive. Step 2 is you must ensure that your affirmations always exceed the number of opposing thoughts per day. So strict mental diet. So let's say you're manifesting money and your affirmations, you're repeating 50 per day. Money comes to me, I make a lot of money, money is everywhere. But on the flip side, you have 100 opposing thoughts per day, conscious opposing thoughts, such as I don't have money, how will I pay for that? I don't have enough, everything's so expensive. You're literally contradicting your affirmations, and they are much more than your affirmations. Here, your overall progress is literally negative. You haven't done anything. You've overpowered the affirmations because you already have that assumption within you, within your subconscious mind, because that's what's going on in your reality, right? So anytime you want to know what's predominant in your subconscious mind, you just look at your reality, and where there is a lack of money, you know your predominant assumptions in your subconscious mind are that of lack. So the 50 affirmations you repeated are really not doing much because you have 100 opposing thoughts that are overpowering them. Now, let's say you are super careful and you repeat 100 affirmations per day in relation to money, and your opposing thoughts are just 10 per day. So here your overall progress is positive. What's going into your subconscious mind, what's being repeated, is the more empowering story that there is a lot of money. And so with time, if you keep doing this, that will become your predominant assumption within your subconscious mind. Now here, I want to add a piece of good news, because when you practice controlling your opposing thoughts just for a little while, these opposing thoughts have to decline with time for 2 reasons. The first one is practice. That's how the subconscious mind works. So when you practice catching your opposing thoughts as they are happening, that becomes habit for you. And here I want to emphasize, whenever you catch your opposing thoughts, don't judge yourself, don't be self-critical, just bring awareness into the situation. Because the whole point is to catch yourself, is to notice yourself. It's not to judge yourself or be self-critical. And as you keep doing that, you find yourself becoming better and better at catching your opposing conscious thoughts as they are happening. Now, the second thing, your conscious opposing thoughts tend to be influenced by your subconscious assumptions. So as you repeat your affirmations and you repeat them consistently, your empowering subconscious assumptions start to become more dominant. And as a result, they also influence your conscious thoughts. So your conscious thoughts have to decrease anyway. So really, it's just about remaining consistent with your strict mental diet for a while before it actually becomes a lot easier. So it's maybe hard in the beginning, but with time, it will become much easier. Moving into step 3, you must make your current 3D reality irrelevant, because your current 3D reality, your physical reality, what you're seeing right now, is a product of your past assumptions, your past predominant assumptions. But now you're telling a new story and you're impressing this new story into your subconscious mind. And so what's going to happen is your subconscious mind is starting to adopt this new story. The more positive, empowering thoughts around money are now becoming more predominant in your subconscious mind. They're becoming a belief. They're becoming more predominant. A subconscious belief. Let's say subconscious. Super important, because at conscious level, you still don't believe it, right? So because your subconscious mind has no clue what is going on in 3D, and the 3D, as we said, is an old story, you have to ignore the current 3D. Do not react. Ignore it. Know that this is the past. This is the past. This is old news. You must not react, because your subconscious mind has no clue what's going on, and the only way it will know is through your emotions, as we said previously. So by reacting negatively to circumstances, you're activating negative feelings and emotions, and then your subconscious mind is now in the knowing of that. It's storing that experience and your judgment of that experience into its database. It's remaining dominant in your subconscious mind. So as you impress the new story through steps 1 and 2, you have to make your current reality irrelevant. It's old news. You kind of have to treat your subconscious mind like the little sister who should not know about this big secret that's happening. Ignore, ignore, ignore. And by ignoring, you are keeping your subconscious mind, your little sister, unaware of what's going on, and then you're allowing the new story to materialize sooner. Do not include your subconscious mind in the 3D, in what's going on in the 3D. Keep it a secret from your subconscious mind. Remember, you're tricking your subconscious mind. If you like this video, then please like, comment, share, and subscribe. This will help my message spread, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next video.